Fine. Now I'm passing the internal tables and work area key. I mean link fields work area and name of the internal table, field catalog internal table, and current program name. I'm passing to this function module. Reuse ALV hierarchy list display. Just activate it, execute it. Click on execute button. So how it is coming here? So this is the purchase order header data. Okay, something color is coming like light pink color, right? This is the header data. Okay, and here PO number is coming something number and document date is coming and vendor is coming, the company code is coming. So in the white color is coming, right? This is the item data. Okay, so you can see the description here. Okay, so the red color is the header data and the blue color item data descriptions. Okay, so if you see here, this is the header data. So for the single line, it is containing this many of items. Okay, this many of items. I will go to the PKPO then. So I am passing the single values here, multiple single values. So I will paste like this, and now I will execute this one. See here, this is the first pivot number. Okay, this is the first pivot number. This is header information. Light pink color is coming, right? This is the header information. So in that one only, in the second line only, item information is coming. So for the single line, they are maintaining 11 items here. Okay, for the single document number, they are maintaining 11 items. Okay, it will go to the next item, next pivot number. Okay, so for this one also, they are maintaining 11 items here. Okay, you can see for each and every document. It is a rare case. In real time, mostly we will go for grid display. Okay, we should not work on 90%. We have to go for grid display. Okay, if you are working on ALV reports. Okay, if you are working on ALV reports, then we will go for grid display. Reuse ALV grid display only. And rare cases we will go for or reuse ALV list display. Okay, so whenever we are not using, see in some times, so we are not working on any events. Okay, we are not using any events. Then we will go for list display because it is little bit fast compared to grid display, right? So then we will go for list display. If you are using any, if you are applying any events or if you are working on any field catalog, something extra functionalities, then grid display we have to use. Okay, if you are working on simple report, okay, only I am displaying the data, that's it. So at that time we will go for list display, and very rare cases we will go for blocked ALV. Okay, blocked ALV, and very rare cases we will go for hierarchical ALV. So this is the concept of reports. Okay, so anyone have doubt up to here from basics onwards to reports concept? Anyone have doubt or anyone is confusing at any concept? Anything? Fine, fine. See, I want to apply uh, top of page event. Okay, top of page event. Then in this top of page, I want to display uh, something logo also. Okay, so how is it possible? Anyone? Anyone? I mean, which function module will support here?
We use commentary word. We use ALV commentary word.
Okay,
Function
we
model.
use ALV underscore
ALV
commentary, right? The function.
commentary right.
Yes. Which function module will support this one? It will support list display or grid display.
Grid display.
Okay. So if you are applying any logos or if you are applying something header information in the heading, I want to display two lines. Okay, in the first line, I want to display the data in the little bit big capital letters and big data. And in the second line, I want to display the small size data. Then that is also not possible in the list display. Okay, we have to display through grid display only. Okay, if you take list display, then there is a normal data. How you are displaying the data in that format only, the heading will come. Okay, there is a list display here. And in the list display, you have to display the data by using write statement. Okay, but in the grid display, we have to display the data through reuse ALV commentary write function module. Right, fine, fine. What is the difference between at selection screen and at selection screen on anyone? I'm expecting the answer from everyone, not from one or two guys only.
At selection screen for multiple fields and
Multiple
at
fields?
selection screen multiple fields validated.
Yeah, the validation word is important here. Okay.
Yeah, and at selection on for one field validation purpose.
Okay, fine, fine. Thank you. Only see if you want to validate only one field. Okay, only one input field you want to validate. At that time, we have to go for at selection screen on. So if you want to validate multiple values, multiple input values, then we have to go for at selection screen only. Fine, thank you. And what is the default event here? What is the default event in the report? Anyone?
Start of selection.
Yes, start of selection. See, I'm writing one report. I'm not applying any event. Okay, I'm not applying any event. So at that time, by default, start of selection event will trigger. Okay, start of event will trigger. Start of selection. Fine. Which event will trigger for first time in the reports concept? Which event will trigger for first time?
Load
Initialization.
program.
Yeah, load of program. That only I will be discussing. See, events, I missed to tell you one thing. Load of program. Okay, so this is one event. Okay, this is an event. So automatically it will apply here. We should not write it explicitly. Mean not required to write load of program. Okay, automatically it will come here. Okay, this is the first event. Okay, this is the first event. Automatically it will apply. Fine, but this is okay, fine. But in the interview questions, this is for interview question. Okay, they will ask you which event will trigger for first time. Okay, load of event will trigger for first time. Fine. This is the automatic event. Okay, so other than automatic event, I am applying something events like startup selection. End of selection. Top of page. And installation. Something end of page. Okay. So I'm applying these many events in the program. Then which event will trigger for first time?
Initialization.
Initialization. See, in the interview, you have to remember. So if they ask the question, which event will trigger for first time, then you have to tell load of program only. Okay, load of program. Then they may ask you question. Okay, so how can you write this load of program event? Okay, then we have to tell, we should not write that one explicitly. Automatically it will load here. Okay, automatically it will load. So this is the automatic event. So other than automatic events, initialization event will trigger first one. Fine. Fine. What is the delivery class? Delivery class.
Is the owner of the table. It controls transfer the data from one table to another table.
What is the data class?
It stores the data logically.
Logical storing in database.
Yeah. So it will store the data logically in the database. Fine, fine. Thank you. Fine. What is the difference between append structure and include structure? Anyone?
Append structure possible in standard tables.
Append structure is possible for standard tables. Is it not possible for custom tables?
No, sir.
Confirm 100%.
Yes, sir.
And
include for custom tables only.
Only for custom tables, not for standard tables, right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. I will take one custom table here. Let me check. Don't forget about basics. Okay. I'm taking one sample table here. And employee number I'm taking here. Save it under technical settings. In the technical settings, I am providing the data class here. Data class as ABPL0. The size category is 0 here. Save it. Click on back. And now enhancement category. Extras enhancement category. So what is the meaning of this one? I mean, by default, not classified is coming. So what is the in which cases we will go for these things? Okay, can be enhanced, character or numeric, or character type, or cannot be enhanced. So what are the differences here? Anyone?
Can be enhanced character type or numeric. It will allow both character type fields and numeric fields.
Where it will allow? Where it will allow? That is the important here. So where it will allow?
Through append structure, we have to allow the character type and can be enhanced character type. And numeric and character type means we have to, by using append structure also, can be enhanced character and numeric. And can be enhanced deep means structure within structure with append structure through append structure.
Thank you. Character. Thank you. See, I'm taking the can be enhanced here. Okay, can be enhanced character type or numeric type. So if you select this radio button, then what will happen? I'm copying here. Okay, here append structure is there. Okay, append structure. So what is the meaning of this append structure? If you want to add any extra fields to the table by using append structure, then here two ways are there: append structure and include structure. Okay, if you want to add any fields, then we can add through append structure or include structure. Okay, so as you told, one of the member told like append structure is possible only for standard tables. This is not for custom tables, right? But that is wrong answer here. So append structure is possible for standard and custom, both tables it will apply. Okay, and include structure is there. Include structure is possible only for custom tables, because include structure, how you will add? So here you have to add here. Okay, you have to add like, so here you have to add like dot include. Okay, and here you have to add, that include structure name we have to add here, right? The standard table, if you click on edit button, it won't allow you. Okay, it won't allow to edit here. It will ask something. It will ask something key here. Okay, we have to provide something key here. Okay, so we should not. We cannot edit the standard table here. Okay, if it is a custom table, then we can click on edit button and I can add dot include here, right? So dot include is only for custom tables only, and append structure is for standard and custom. Both tables it will apply. Okay, and enhancement category is coming here. Enhancement category. So extras enhancement category is there, and here can be enhanced character type or numeric type. I'm selecting here. What is the meaning of this one? Here I'm using append structure. Means I'm adding something fields to the table by using append structure, right? So at that time I want to give some restriction. Okay, I want to give some restriction. So if it is the character type, okay, if it's the character type, then only I want to allow to add that field. Then I will select this one. Okay, can be enhanced character type only. Okay, and sometimes so I want to add character data type fields and numeric data type fields, both I want to add. Then I will select this one, can be enhanced character or numeric. And sometimes my requirement is, so I'm working on something banking project like that. So at the time something table I have created, so in future no one should add the custom fields here. Okay, no one should add custom fields here. So at that time I will go for cannot be enhanced. Okay, so you cannot create any append structure for that one, for the table. Fine, and can be enhanced deep is there. Okay, structure within structure will come. So in that concept we will go for can be enhanced deep. Okay, and by default not classified will select here. Okay, I did not give any enhancement category at that time. Not classified will automatically will select not classified. Fine. So how many types of internal tables are there? Anyone? Types of internal tables?
3 types. Standard, sorted, hashed.
Hash. Fine.
Yes.
What is the use of search help here? Anyone? Any other guy? Search help.
We will provide list of possible values to the input.
So something input field I am taking. So I am clicking on F4 button. At that time I have to display some values, list of possible values. Then we will go for search help concept. Fine. How many types of search helps are there?
2 types. Elementary search, collective search.
Okay. So what are the differences here?
Without elementary search, collective search cannot be created. I mean, Collective search is a group of elementary search we can use.
Correct only. Okay. Then what about elementary search cell? So how many tables fields we can add in elementary search cell?
Only one table. You can provide the list of possible values.
Yeah, correct only. The elementary search cell is there. So if you want to add some fields from a particular table, then we will go for elementary search cell. Okay. So and I want to add more than one table fields information. Okay, more than one table information. I mean, 3 tables information I want to add in the search cell concept. Then we have to create 3 elementary search cells and I have to create one collective search cell. Okay, in the collective search cell, I will use whatever I have created the elementary search cell. I will add those 3 elementary search cells in the collective search cell. Fine. What is the use of at first events at first? When it will trigger?
It is triggered first trigger of the internal table.
I'm looping something internal table. Okay, I'm looping something internal table at the time. So this event will trigger for first time at first. Okay, and at last is there. It will trigger at the end of the internal table. For example, in my internal table, 10 records are available. So that event will trigger at the 10th record only, because that is the last record of that internal table. So it will trigger at that place. Fine. So what about at new and at end of? Anyone? Any other guy? At new and at end of? Any other thing?
So new will trigger at the record of every block, sir.
Every block? I mean continuation. I mean that is correct only. Some extension is there.
Oh.
It will trigger in every block. Every block at which place?
So at
First
new will trigger at every block first place, and at end will trigger at the end of the every block.
Yes. First record of the each block it will trigger. Okay. At any will trigger. And at end of means it will trigger at the end of the each block it will trigger. Fine. Thank you. And what is the use of data element here? Anyone? What is the use of data element?
It is used to provide the characters and the length.
So I am creating one
Data
table. Fine. Your answer is correct only. And here I am creating one table. Okay. In that table, I am directly applying the data type and length. I am not applying the data element. Then what is the use here? Directly I can pass here, right?
Directly you can provide the description.
Then what is the use of data element here?
It describes the individual fields, sir.
Right? Not getting. Can you? Someone answered now, but I didn't listen properly. Can you repeat it once again?
Description of the data element. You have to mention the description of the data element and data type.
Fine. Thank you. Correct only. See, by using data element, that is for reusable purpose. So first advantage is that is for reusable purpose. Okay. So whenever we are creating a same data type and same data length, each and every time we have to maintain the data type and length and description like that. Okay. So instead of that one, I will create one data element. I will use the data element in n number of programs and tables. Okay. Anywhere we can use the data element. Okay. That is the first advantage. And the second advantage is, so you are applying something primary key concept. I mean, foreign key relationship here. Okay. So foreign key relationship, if you are declaring, you are creating the table by using a predefined type directly you are passing the data type and length in the table level, at that time the foreign key relationship is not possible. Okay, so you must and should take the data element. So with the data element only, foreign key relationship is possible. Okay, so without data element, foreign key relationship is not possible. That is the second one. Okay, and the third one. See, I'm creating one table here. Okay, I'm creating one table and I'm creating one TMZ also for that one. Okay, and here I'm not maintaining the data element. I'm declaring the data type and length directly to that field. Okay, at that time, if I create a TMZ for the table, the description, the field description will not apply in the TMZ. Okay, and next concept is the module pool programming. So in the same will apply here also. Okay, so if I use any custom table or any table, okay, if I use any table, so which will not contain data element, then I don't get a description in this module pool programming also. Okay, so for maintaining the descriptions we have to go for data elements. Fine. What is the check table and value table here? Anyone? Check table and value table. Check table and value table.
Value table is a domain level, and whereas in check table is a foreign key relationship. Go for
What is the
foreign
use?
key
What is the use of that one? That is okay. How can we create that one? That is okay, fine. But what is the use of that one? Someone rotating their books, checking the books. Check table, value table here. Check table is there. So check table is possible through foreign key relationship. So what is the use of foreign key relationship here? So first of all, I am maintaining something data in one table. For example, employee table is there and employee item table is there. Header data and item data is there. So first of all, I will enter the header data, employee number, employee name, and when he has joined, what is his blood group, what is his mobile number. So these are header data. The header data means, so once they will enter and second time, they won't change the data. Okay, frequently they won't change the data. In very rare cases, they will change the data. Maybe they will move to any other location, from one location to another location. Then they will change the address. Okay, so these are the very rarely we will change the data. This is the header data. Fine, I am maintaining the data in the header information and item information I am maintaining here. Okay, so whenever I am maintaining the item information, then I have to check, okay, that employee number is available or not in the header table. Okay, then this is the foreign key relationship. I am checking from one more table. Okay, that is a check table here. Okay, and coming to the value table. So in the domain level only it is possible. In the domain level, I am maintaining something data. For example, something gender is there. Okay, for that gender, I am maintaining the data in the table level. At the time, I will maintain in the data element and the domain. Okay, in the domain, I will maintain male and female. I will maintain there. Okay, whenever we are entering the data in the table level, at that time, if you pass male or female, then only it will allow here. Okay, if you pass other than those two things, male or female, it won't allow here. Okay, it will throw error. Okay, that is the value table here. Value table is possible through domain, domain level. Fine. And what is the use of this MANDT field here? Anyone? What is the use of this one, MANDT field?
It is a mandatory field, and the server, whatever you mentioned.
It is a mandatory field, or so if I don't maintain this
mandatory.
field,
It will not pass the client to the quality, production to the quality.
fine.
Sometimes.
Here, one concept is that client dependent and client independent. client dependent and independent. So client dependent. So client dependent means I am maintaining, I have a development system. Okay, here I have two servers, 100 and 200. Okay, 100 is for developing and 200 is for testing. Okay, in the same thing in the development only, I have two servers. Okay, two clients I have, I mean two client numbers I have. Now what I'm doing, I'm creating one table, ZEMP table. Okay, so 101 is the employee number, 102 is the employee number, 103 is the employee number. Fine. Now if I take, okay, if I take this MANDT field, okay, in the table level, then that is the client dependent. Okay, client dependent. So if I maintain the data, okay, if I maintain MANDT field in the table level, then what will happen? So this data, okay, 101, 102, 103 is available only in 100 client. Okay, only in 100 client. Okay, if I don't maintain this one, okay, MANDT field is there, right? So I'm not maintaining that one. Then, so I'm entering the data in 100 client. Okay, I'm entering the data in 100 client, but 101, 102, 103, these three records are available in 100 as well as in 200 also, because this is the client independent. Okay, client independent. The data will affect in the another server also. In another server, I mean these two belongs to only one server, development server only. Okay, but the client numbers are different here. Okay, server numbers are different here. So the data will apply in the two servers. Okay, the table name will apply. The table name will be available in two servers, 100 and 200 clients. In two clients, it will available. But the data, I'm expecting the data here. Okay, so if you want to maintain the data in 100 client only, then we have to maintain MANDT. That is a client dependent. Okay, so if I don't want to maintain like that, okay, if I will enter the data in 100 client, then the data will affect in the 200 also. Okay, for example, I will maintain the data in the 200, then the data will affect in 100 also. Okay, that's the client independent. So MANDT field, if you maintain the MANDT field, then that is the client dependent. If you don't maintain the MANDT field in the table, then client independent. Okay. What is the use of lock objects? Anyone? Lock objects.
You can avoid the multiple access from multiple users.
To avoid the multiple access of a single database, then we will go for lock objects. Right? So lock objects, practically I didn't show you. In the module pool concept, I will show you. Okay, how can we use that one in real games? What is the buffering here? Buffering. Buffering.
Buffering is a temporary storage, which is stored in an application server, which has three types of generic area, singled buffer, and fully buffered.
So buffer area is a temporary location. Okay, buffer area is a temporary location in the application server. Whenever you are giving something input to fetch the output, then what will happen? That first of all, it will check in the application layer the data is available or not. If the data is not available, then it will go to the database layer. It will pick the data and it will pass the data to the application layer. From that application layer, it will display the data. Second time, same data I'm fetching here. At the time, it won't go for database layer. Directly, it will pick the data from application layer only. The performance will be a little bit high here. Okay, so these all are the interview questions. Okay, interview questions up to reports. I mean, some more interview questions are there. I will share you a document. Okay, at the end of the course, I will share you a document. So whatever I faced, okay, whatever I faced in the interviews, I have maintained one documentation. I will share you the documentation. Okay, and anyone have doubts up to here? Any other doubts or any other confusions up to reports concept? Fine. If you don't have any doubts, then we can drop off for today. Okay, tomorrow onwards, I will start the module full programming. So better to practice more and more on debugging concept. Okay, if you don't practice and debugging, then it will be tough to you to understand the module full programming. So better to practice more on debugging concepts. Okay, then tomorrow we will meet at 6:30 a.m. Tomorrow is Saturday. Okay, tomorrow class is there. I mean, the day after tomorrow class will not be there. So tomorrow we will meet at 6:30 a.m. Then by Jai Hind.